Hello, this is the Roach Throshia, and I'm here to give another video. I'm here to make another video. Anyway, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below if you would like to, and I would like you to, obviously. But anyway, so um, today we're going to take an unpopular view. Big surprise. That's kind of what this channel has been doing quite a bit in the past, and it's still doing it a little bit. Actually, well, not terribly unpopular view, and this one's not terribly unpopular either. So I am going to be talking a little bit about the Electoral College today. The Electoral College, they just did a poll, and this poll came out that 65% don't want the Electoral College anymore, and I can't remember how much, but there's a certain amount of percentage. I guess it's not more than 35 anyway. Well, yeah, yeah, not more than 35% still want the Electoral College. And so this is what I need to talk about. And I think that the the advocates for getting rid of the Electoral College are saying is that it's antiquated, that it's no longer valid, that the founding fathers, they didn't know modern times, and modern times calls for a popular vote, elected president, not not an electoral college. But I think that modern times actually calls for an electoral college even more today than it did then. So now information can travel very quickly. And a whole country, even the size of the United States, could actually be on the same page with certain ideas and certain things simply because the information can get so everywhere so fast. So if it is true information, then it will get to everybody, and it will get to everybody quickly. Or it could. It has the potential to do so. And because of that, then it shouldn't be that you just have to convince the greatest number of people, but you have to convince the greatest number of people of all types of areas and places. And that's what the Electoral College does. It makes it so that your farmers have, so your rural people have a more equal view to your city people. Because obviously there's more population in a city, but those local farmers, there might not be as much of a population, but they should still have just as much say. I mean, they're providing an awful lot for us. And what happens if you have mob rule, which, or popular vote, which is basically mob rule because this is just majority wins, is that the majority can say, okay, well, we're going to outlaw farmland. Well, if the majority is in control, the majorities are in cities. And say everybody in the cities decide, yep, we're going to outlaw farmland. Who needs it anyway? We're going to just make everything city. Then that's a bad choice, obviously. But because the mob has made the decision, then all of a sudden we end up with no farmland. Because popular vote rules. Well, so the Electoral College is a lot the same. So it makes it so that, okay, well, all the city people, they want this particular candidate. But all of the rural people, they want this other candidate. Well, because there's fewer of the people, of the rural people, then the rural people will lose that battle every time in a popular vote scenario. Now, let's take, say, the rural people actually have some support of a small percentage, or of, say, 30% of the city people. And they have most of the rural people, but not quite all of them. There are some that aren't. So say they have 80% of the rural people. And then the mob, they have, or the city people, and that candidate, they have 70% of the city people, but only 20% of the rural people. Well, the no more diverse opinion is that sides more with the minority population. And the Electoral College will make it so that is the ones who actually win instead of the people that are the majority. And this is good for the country because that is a more diverse group of people that are actually going for the candidate that the rural people want. Because say the city people, they don't want to get some of the city people, they don't want to get rid of the farmland. So they're siding with the rural people. But not enough of the city people are siding with the rural people to get a majority. Well, then you have the Electoral College to come in and make that better. Now, could it work in a adverse way? Well, it could, but it's unlikely to, because you're going to have a mob or a majority in cities. You're going to have, and they're going to think one way, and you're going to have rural people, and they're going to think, they're going to think another way. Well, the way that you make that more fair is with electoral or a representative type system. And the representative system that we have actually makes it far better. So basically, the system that we have now makes it so that a state like Wyoming will be able to have still two electoral college votes from their senators, just like California, New York, or any other. So you get an element of it's fair for every state. Every state gets the 2 votes. So you've got a fair way that way, that every state gets the same number of votes. But then you have more votes going to each state based on how many representatives they have in the House. Well, in the House, you get representatives based on your population. So at this point, then you can factor in a popular vote type of a scenario too. So if the popular vote is the same across a diverse of different groups, then that candidate is going to win anyway. And it's going to be because they get the popular vote and they get the Electoral College vote. But if the minority person is popular, then they're still going to be is the most popular amongst a more diverse group, then they're going to get the vote. So it makes it so that you have more diverse, a larger diversity of people that are represented in the actual person that wins the vote, rather than it just being the most popular person. Even if the group that they're actually representative is just a majority group. So yeah, that's the purpose of the Electoral College. And with the Electoral College, that is one of the systems that makes us a representative government, a republic government, instead of a democrat government. Democrat is mob rule. And that is the danger of a democrat government, is you have mob rule. So if someone votes that you only get minimum wage, and so if there's a group of people that vote that you only get minimum wage and all the rest of what you make goes to the rest of the group, then there's no way that you can win that vote in a democracy. So that's when you have a representative, and that group has a representative, and then those two representatives can come and duke it out and basically make a decision that hopefully is good for both groups. And that is what the Electoral College is geared towards. That's what it was designed for in the very beginning, was to give the most people the best possible outcome. The most diverse group of people, the best possible outcome. So I do definitely think that the Electoral College still has very much relevance today. I still think that it needs to be used. And not only that, but it makes it so that Democrats have to actually go and try to convince the rest of the world. So the Democrats in by large for a long time have been the dominant group in the United States. They have been the majority in the United States, with the Republicans being the minority. But the Republicans have been in the rural areas, and they have had their majorities in the rural areas and in the center of the country, by and large. And so that's why Republicans have a better chance of winning with the Electoral College, and Democrats have a harder time winning with the Electoral College because they're already a majority. There has been a shift in 2022. The Republicans actually got the popular vote. They actually won the popular vote, which means that there has been a bit of a shift. So more people are leaving the Democrats and more people are joining the Republicans. It may not be the same people, but that's what seems to be occurring in the country right now. And so this call for ending the Electoral College is just another call by the Democrats to try and gain back their advantage. Because they figure if they get rid of the Electoral College, then the majority, that's been easy for them because they've been the party of the city people, the party of the urbanites. And so they feel that they can still gain that. And they have also been the party of the young voter because they've been able to get those votes, and they've been able to get them pretty consistently and a large percentage of them. So they have been able to do that, where the Republicans have not been able to do that. It seems like the Republicans actually convert people as they get older in life, and get more experiences in life. And so now, and for me, I've been lean right my entire life. I've not always been a Republican. I am now, but I've always been lean right, with a few Democrat policies that still bounced around in my head. And over time, I realized that those policies weren't the best policies. And that's what happens as we grow and we develop ourselves through time, is we learn about these policies and we learn what's better, what works best for us and for our families, for those people that we're around, for pretty much everybody involved, what works best. And then we start working towards those things that help the most people, because people in general want to be good and want to be helpful to as many people as they possibly can. And so that's why the Republican Party starts appealing later in life, whereas the Democrat Party, which says they're the party of the people, the party of feelings, the party of the here and now, and because they can pass off as being that party, they garner a lot of the young support. But then they lose it later because the Republican Party shows as being the more responsible party, the more, okay, let's benefit as many people as we possibly can, not just for the here and now, but more into the future. And that's the way the parties have traditionally been. Now, the parties have seen a little bit of a shift, a little bit of a movement, especially with the MAGA movement coming in. That is a movement. That is not just a Trump thing. And the MAGA movement will last well longer than the Tea Party movement ever did, and well longer than Trump does. Trump led the movement, but he is not the movement. So just a few things that have been on my mind, and just a few things that I wanted to talk about. And yes, all of this plays into the Electoral College is good, and the Electoral College should be something that we keep, something that we do honor, and something that the Founding Fathers were inspired to bring to us and to give to us. And it is still very much applicable right here in the now. See, even if the Republican Party becomes the majority, if it's not diverse in the people that it's representing, then I don't want it to win. I want a diverse group of people being the ones that decide who actually gets into the office. A group of people that are diverse more in the way that they think, their ideals, and who they truly are. So I want city people to agree with the rural people. I want rural people to agree with the city people on different things. We want to come to an agreement as to what's best for both city and rural. We want people to agree on what's best for everything in the country. And the best way to do that is to find who will offer the best outcome for the most Americans and for the longest term possible. And I think that our best chance with that is with the Electoral College. And so I will always stand up for and fight for the Electoral College, because the Electoral College makes sense. It also would work. Even if the Electoral College starts working in the Democrats' favor and no longer in the Republicans' favor, I would still support the Electoral College, because I do not support mob rule. I do not like mob rule. I think mob rule has very serious issues, and we need to avoid that type of rule. We need to avoid a popular vote rule. So that's my video for today. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.